The life force of your bond. A power like life itself. Unseen for generations. A dyad in the force.
The force is strong with this one.
Dan Worm subscribed to the Dyad.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Dyad in the Force, episode 152.
And you still having some trouble with the stream? A little choppy, a little slow. How's your internet speeds over there? Everything okay?
It's a little choppy, it's a little stream. I'm not getting you guys in full time, like you're like kind of frozen in place, but I hear you fine. Like it's definitely choppy. I don't think it's the Wi-Fi here, but I don't know what it is.
Let me lower.
It might be the platform, because I don't know.
Let me lower the bit a little bit. You can hear us just fine though, right? There's definitely.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. So, as long as that's okay, I mean.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a laptop or something?
I do have a computer I could use. Give me a second. You want me to sign out and sign back in?
Yeah, that would be appreciated.
Might work a little smoother.
Let me see. All right, yeah, give me a second because I'm not home right now. I'm actually at my friend's. So let me see. How do I do this here?
No worries. In the meantime, let's catch up with chat, see how people are doing.
All right, let me see here.
Yeah, so this is episode 152, Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars. It's just titled that way. We're not really doing any kind of like fandom versus fandom thing, but shout out to Cal for the chat pre-show hype, Dex and Download, Rams How, and everyone that was on the TikTok side. No, everyone's back for some reason. It just popped in. We're just gonna talk with our guest here as soon as the technical difficulties are worked out.
You know, we do have a little bit of a agenda or thoughts that we wanted to talk about. One thing that wasn't there that I would love to hear about is who would we want to actually see cross over? You know what I mean? Like, who in Lord of the Rings would we put on the Jedi Council, and who from Star Wars would we put as a part of the Fellowship? I think would fit.
Yeah, I feel like we need new beta for this.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just prompting so everyone in the chat and stuff can start thinking about your responses. They better be good, otherwise we fighting.
Yeah. All right, you know what? Why don't we do this while we're working things out with our guest? I'm going to spin the wheel of names because I did have a Black Series Morgan Elsbeth to give away, and that was on my video talking about Jidaigeki, or the origin of the word Jedi for Jedi, and we had a lot of people enter for that. So let's spin the wheel. I know you guys can't see it, but I'll take a picture of it so y'all can confirm who the winner is. Actually, I'll take a video of it. All right, I'm gonna spin the wheel right now. You can hear it, right?
No, I'm just having some mic difficulties, and now I'm just holding.
All right, so the winner of the Black Series Morgan Elsbeth is Nicholas Schmidt. I'll be replying to I'll be replying to your comment on the video, the giveaway video, and we'll be prompting you for your delivery address and stuff like that. So congratulations to Nicholas Schmidt for winning the Black Series Morgan Elsbeth. We're back with new beta. How you doing, man?
We can't hear him though. But wait, say something. I heard something really quietly, but like it might be a different mic picking it up, or maybe it's your headset mic and the headset mic is up. Could that be it?
Let me see something here.
Yo.
Yep, that'll do it.
All right, boom. Yeah, I'm at my friend's house, so I'm kind of discombobulated.
All right, who's your friend? Because they got a whole green corner set up.
Oh yeah. My friend Aaron. He's like a super gamer, nerd, and all of that. He be doing his thing.
Can we follow him? Does he have a?
Absolutely.
Who he is?
Yes, absolutely. I'm trying to get him to come in here so he can direct me on this, so I'm not messing his setup up. I gotta go to a friend's my cousin passed away a few years ago, so every year on his birthday we go to his memorial. So I'm here going to that after I hang out with you guys. If he'll come in here in a second. He's cooking dinner. I don't know what.
All right, cool.
Yo, guys, thanks. First and foremost, thank you so much for inviting me on your show. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. I apologize about that.
No, it's totally fine. You'll be surprised how much it happens on this show.
We're casual.
You know, we do it live.
Cool.
That's all. You know, I think it's better to do it live than to like experience the problems than to record a whole dang 2-hour podcast and then in editing you're like, oh no, the audio is not there, which we've done countless times. But welcome to Dyad in the Force, episode 152. If you could introduce yourselves or introduce yourself, you need no introduction, but if you can, let everybody know who you are, where they can find you on social media.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? It's New Better, Do Better, Lord of the Rings lore expert, content creator. You can find me at New Better, Do Better on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, pretty much everything. YouTube, even though I got a new YouTube with nothing on it, but you know what I'm saying? New Better, Do Better. Yeah, you find me. Also, make sure you follow the Voices of Order podcast. You can find that on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Arturo Leon
and all the other
subscribed to the Dyad.
podcast platforms. So check it out. Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. You can find it on all of that stuff.
Awesome.
Spotify.
Also, welcome new member Arturo. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Darthman86 says, "I can't believe we're doing this. Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings. We're not actually gonna do a versus, right? I mean, I don't think there's, unless we can find some type of prompt that is legitimately. So the reason I kind of wanted to bring you on, apart from the fact that you are a Lord of the Rings expert, is that there's been some discourse
In the realm.
Exactly. There's some rumblings or there's a disturbance. And well, the first thing I want to kind of like get into here is, as we switch to Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars, Hawkeye, Green Arrow, and Legolas.
Yes. That's a interesting topic. So from the video that I stitched, Hawkeye, Green Eye, and Legolas, there was stipulations on the match, and it was movie versions. So movie versions, the stipulation is 5 hours in the woods, 5 arrows, and there's absolutely no way anybody but Legolas is coming out of that alive. But I do want to say, comic book iterations, Green Arrow or Hawkeye will win that. And their feats are crazy, but in the movie versions they can't beat Legolas. He's a wood elf. The stipulation is to be in the woods. He has magic that naturally elves have. They won't see. You know what I'm saying? They can't get around that. It's just it's impossible. But their comic book iterations actually got put on. I got put on to. Oh, here goes my friend right here. Oh, see, I'm asking you to help me out.
Shout out to the best friend.
Shout out to this is my friend Aaron. They want to know your how to reach you on the socials and all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he games
Yeah.
and he's nice and he knows everything about everything, man. So you know what I'm saying? What's your handles and all that, man? Yeah, man. Don't be shy now, man. You want people to follow him and stream.
Where do we find you? We want to follow you on Twitch. We want to follow
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna give the headset real
TikTok,
quick.
YouTube.
Tell them your streaming name and all that.
Right, y'all be putting me on the spot. I don't know my. I mean,
you don't know your joint? It's Mr. Bops, ain't it?
nah, it's Mr. Bops. It's Mr. Bops on Twitch. So it's twitch.tv, /MRBOPPZ.
All right.
All right. What do you play?
I play Call of Duty, Street Fighter, the finals right now. Everything. MMOs.
Okay.
I love MMOs.
He's
all right.
massively
Nice.
good. What are the
Street Fighter 6?
Oh yeah.
You
I'm
nice?
alright.
All those games.
Who you main?
Yori right now.
Okay.
And I play what's that dude name? The stick. The one you don't like. The dude I was playing first.
I don't remember.
Why can't I think about that name? The dude in the suit with the stick, man, like Grandpa.
Oh yeah. With the cane. I
JP.
forget his name.
Wait,
Yeah,
why
JP.
can't JP? Why couldn't I get his name out?
Yeah, we call it spam. I just call him spam.
Yeah, I stopped using it because he's. I don't know. I just find him very cheesy. Like,
You
Oh,
play
yeah,
Taco? Because I'll put my hands on you with E Honda.
I mean, I'll play you. I ain't the best, but my skills are coming up.
I'm all right.
My skills are coming up.
so who are these guys?
We are Dyad in the Force.
Element, this Choco, they are.
And of course, yeah, we're live right now on YouTube. We just wanted to introduce you to some people.
He also works on gaming stuff, right? Element.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You said you're an MMO fan. He works on Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah, he works on the Lord of the Rings online game. Element does. I didn't know if that was the only one, so I didn't want to. It's good. It's good.
No, it's good. I was going like this so I could hear it.
Oh, I was like, "What you doing, man?" This is this is funny though. Actually, this is kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is his rig. This is his setup. He got the 2 TVs. All of this is like foreign to me. I got a regular ass computer. Not regular, but you know what I mean? Like he the one.
You gotta get good.
Yeah, man. If you're gonna do better and do better.
Yo, just got a new computer. He hooked me up. Like
Nice.
I told me what to get, all of that. So now when I do my streams and everything, it don't be crashing and doing all the carrying on and stuff like that. So that's what's up, man.
So
Yeah.
what do you go? What they play mostly, or they don't really?
Well, he works on Lord of the Rings Online.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say, but I
Yeah,
wasn't sure if that was the only game he does.
So he's
Yeah.
you update that game in a sense,
Yes.
Yep.
and so you know what I'm excited for. I'm excited for that new Lord of the Rings game that they announced, the MMO.
Oh, the Amazon one that they announced.
Yeah, that's Amazon. It's a different studio.
Yeah, man. That's their competition,
Well,
man. You
it'll be
can't be talking to him about it, man. Come on, man. Get it together, man.
I played, remember, we played that Lord of the Rings game back in the day when it first came out.
Oh yeah, we definitely was. Yeah, we played Lord of the Rings Online. Reason I don't play it because it's very time consuming right now. So that's why I don't be like. I would just play it, but I literally got so much stuff going on. I can't like dedicate the time to just sit there and play it all day long,
What
man.
about my man right here?
I mean, listen, outside of testing,
Play everything.
outside of unit testing, I don't play it either. It is like MMOs are time consuming. You gotta put your life on pause most of the time to play them. That's why I don't play WoW anymore. I don't play 14 anymore. It's just
You don't play
it's
New
not
World?
time.
Yo, he was about to get divorced
Bro,
because his
bro,
wife
I
was about to
played-
divorce him because he was playing WoW too much.
Yo, I played World of Warcraft for 10 years straight. I mean, I work, but you know what I mean? Like, come home, World of Warcraft.
Yo, we used to be like, yo,
That was
come
the
on,
thing.
get off the computer, man. Like, get off the computer. Like, I always say in my like when I do my content and stuff like that. Sorry, I don't mean to cut y'all off. When I do my content and stuff, I'm like, I'm not really a real true nerd like that. I just happen to be a Lord of the Rings like nerd for the Lord of the Rings, but I'm outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm like in the hood, like, and we always be like, yo, man, get off the computer. You playing WoW. Get off the, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he be out with us, though. It's crazy. I got to, like, to know us in real life is funny, man.
No, you're for real nerd though.
Nah, but absolutely. But it's not like in the true traditional sense of the word, because when I grew up, I was born in the 80s, so back then, a nerd is a whole different type of different thing
Yeah.
back then. You know what I'm saying?
Now, now we got nerds and geeks, and we got different things, and like the stuff that made you nerdy back in the day is what's cool nowadays.
It's
like,
cool now,
you know?
yeah. And it wasn't like if you was a nerd, you was getting. It was also other things that came with it. Not like now. You was getting beat up. You was getting teased and all that. Now it's none of that's going on. So it's not the same type of. And that never happened to me, regardless. Even though, like, you know what I'm saying. So it's like
It's
weird.
cool to play D&D today.
Yo, I don't think it's cool at all. I hate D&D. I be talking to my Lord of the Rings people, and they be like, play D&D, and I tried it, and I was like, yo, I can't. My level of nerdiness is not to that level to where I can sit there and play an actual. I can't do it.
It's an acquired taste, but it is for sure more accepted than back then. I have to ask, since you said 80s, I wonder if we're close to the same age. I was born in 85.
I got you by a couple years. I'm 83, man.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, me and him is a month apart.
I got you.
87.
That's what's up, man.
We got to see all the good stuff, like, you know, dial up into.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
You say good stuff, man. Yeah, we got to drown in a whole pile of AOL CDs. Yeah, I remember those days.
I always got to bring this up. If you've ever seen 1995 Hackers, the scene when they're hyping up a new laptop, and
it's crazy.
This is a straight line from that movie. Yo, this one's got a 28.8 BPS modem. Like, it's like you think about the speeds today, and you're like 28.8.
I used to play back in the day, like Valve games. You know, like what is it called? Valve. That wasn't Valve, but Day of Defeat and the original. What's the Valve game that you play now? That's on Steam.
Team Fortress?
Team Fortress? Yeah.
Team Fortress. When Team Fortress and Counter-Strike, even Counter-Strike. Bro, Counter-Strike, I used to play the old Counter-Strike. I don't like what they're doing now.
Medal of Honor and all of that
Medal of Honor, like,
shit back then.
Brothers in Arms. I was a Rainbow Six person.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
Let me ask you while we got both of you guys here, I want to ask my question again. All right, we're gonna mix up the Star Wars and the Lord of the Rings universe a little bit. So, who from Star Wars is would you want to see joining the Fellowship, and who from Lord of the Rings you think would fit on the Jedi Council?
See, it's pretty simple and straightforward. The type of with the Fellowship, I'm looking for a certain type of individual that has good qualities, good traits. You know what I'm saying? So somebody like Anakin, I can't, because they're just too off kilter. I can't put them in the Fellowship, and no matter how powerful they is. You know what I'm saying?
Anakin said, "Wild card, bitches!" like,
yeah, he's too Boromir-esque, but he's way wilder than Boromir.
Yeah,
I feel like Anakin. I feel like Obi-Wan is a really good choice because he's very powerful, but he doesn't flaunt his power. He's low key. He fly under the radar. That's what you need in the Fellowship. He's a very true friend. He's steady. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's wise. That is who somebody like that you would definitely need. Even somebody like Ahsoka would be cool to have, but she's a little too flashy. If we're trying to get to, in the Fellowship, if we're trying to get where we're going, she'd be a true friend. She'd be all, but she'd jump out the window too much. So it wouldn't work out.
I like what you said about Anakin being Boromir-esque. Do you think Boromir represents like an Anakin that never had Palpatine whispering in his ears? Because I feel like Boromir's temptation is the ring, and that is the dark side.
Yeah,
but
that need.
Yeah, but he doesn't have anybody that's constantly pushing him, right? It's just the temptation.
It's just the need, and it doesn't. So whereas Anakin's, and you guys know more about Star Wars than me, so I feel like Anakin's need is or drive toward getting his power is the thought of losing Padme. And somebody, it's like a singular goal, and it's one person, and it's like just eating away at him, whereas he's just worried about really himself losing someone. He's kind of being selfish in that sense to me. Whereas Boromir's actually not being selfish at all. Him and Gandalf actually have the same problem. So Gandalf refuses to even touch the ring because he knows he's too weak, and he wants to save everybody so bad that if he touches the ring, he knows that because he has so much need for it that he's gonna fall. So don't even let me touch it. He knows that much. Boromir doesn't even have that information. If you read the book as opposed to watch the movie kind of do Boromir dirty. In the book, Gandalf and Aragorn are constantly having to explain stuff to Boromir. He doesn't know about the ring. He knows the enemy had a ring. He knows it must be something powerful. He doesn't know nothing about what it could do or nothing like that. He's like, it's a thing of the enemy. I know it has great strength, but he doesn't realize, the pitfalls of it like that. He knows if I get this, it's some kind of weapon, I'll be able to save my people, because his people are all dying and getting attacked constantly for the last 20 years. They're on the front lines defending the rest of the world, and I don't think they do a fair representation of that in the movie. Which why I always say, Boromir gets done dirty. They have him drop the shards of Narsil, which is mad disrespectful. He doesn't pick it up. He would never do that. Boromir's mad respectful. He has that need to protect his people. They're dying. Like, they're literally, Mordor and Gondor are literally across a river from each other, and he is the captain, and he has to protect the rest of the free peoples of Middle Earth. If they get across that river and Gondor's not there to protect the rest of Middle Earth, it's over. So, and it's like kind of not fair how everybody's just like, why do you want the ring so bad? It's like, what do you mean? You're telling this man not to use the most powerful artifact in the world that he knows of, that the enemy had, to use, try to use it against him, and you're telling him, hey, take these 4 short guys that don't do anything and they eat a lot and go, and he's like, what? And he doesn't have that knowledge that Aragorn, who was raised in Rivendell, and with Elrond, literally raising him and giving him this guidance and information, and Gandalf constantly tutoring, and Gandalf is thousands of years old and knows all the information. You know what I'm saying? It has this. They have a leg up. They constantly have to tell Boromir. He's constantly asking, "Why don't we do this? Why don't we just go this way? Why read the book? Why are we doing this? This doesn't make any sense."
Why don't the Eagles just fly instead? No plane.
A lot of that type of shit. A lot of that. So sorry if that was a long-winded
They did have that
answer.
one line. They did have that one line. Only by the blood of my people are your lands kept safe.
Yes, absolutely.
And then they did him dirty.
And they do them dirty so bad. They do, because they just have you looking at them funny the whole time. And it's I understand it's a different medium, so they're like, hey, we have to speeding this up, make you understand, hey, this guy wants the ring, but they make it like he's evil, which I don't really like. He redeems himself at the end, but they do have you looking at him sideways, which in the book you're like, it's like you're asking these same questions.
Sense,
He literally asked the questions you're asking, because they're like, oh yeah, let's go climb this mountain over the snowy peaks during the storm, and he's like, why don't we just go where I just came from? And they got to be like, no, the reason why we can't do that is this. He's like, okay, why don't we just go around? Literally, Gondor goes all the way to the sea. We could go down that way and go walk all the way around that way. Why don't we just do that? It'll take too long. They might look for us that way. This, that. He's like, okay, why don't we just do? He asked so many valid questions, but they know the answers already, and then they're yelling at him about it. It's kind of actually hilarious. They're yelling at him like, no, we can't do that, Boromir. So it's really unfair to him.
Yeah. Charlie Johnson in the chat kind of takes one of my answers. He said Gimli is the real hero of Lord of the Rings. I was going to put Gimli on the Jedi Council. I just want to see. I feel like his personality there. You're not going to push him around or anything like that. And he just has great energy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The dwarves are you're not going to boss the dwarves around. You're not going to bully them. You're not going to none of that stuff to the dwarves. In the movie, they make him very comic relief. But I tell you one thing, he don't take no shit from nobody in the books. Him and Legolas really actually have a real problem in the books. Like there's like they're like it almost goes to blows. Like they have a real problem. So I love how they how their friendship builds and everything. But the dwarves are all stubborn, and you can't bully them. You can't take mind control over them. It's built into their fiber, their being. Even Sauron can't mind control the dwarves. It's crazy. The rings don't work
Resistant to
on the
mind
dwarves.
trick.
See, it fits.
See?
It fits even more, man.
A Jedi mind trick will not work on a dwarf.
His stubbornness means it works. It means he would fit on the council as well. So that's what I'm taking out of Lord of the Rings and putting in Star Wars is Gimli, who I'm having join, and I feel bad because I'm going before Element because I'm gonna steal what he's about to say. I'm gonna put Quinlan Voss in the Fellowship because Quinlan is a G. He's like a dirty Obi-Wan. I guess it's he's out there. He's in the dirt. He's messing with people. He's undercover, right? He's a Jedi, but he's got street smarts. He's great with people. He has a tracking ability. He's got his psychometry where he can touch stuff and see the history of it, which I think would be a super cool power inside of Lord of the Rings. If you touch something, you can see history surrounding it. Awesome fighter. Like I could see him if you just switch his lightsaber for a sword, toss him in there. I think it works.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up. If I could put a Lord of the Rings character in Star Wars, I would absolutely put Ecthelion in Star Wars. So with their skill with the sabers and their fighting ability and their bravery and I think that Ecthelion is second to none when it comes to fighting. It's an elf named Ecthelion, and he's from Gondolin, and he's actually the elf that slays Gothmog, who is like, so there's Morgoth, there's Sauron, and Sauron and Gothmog are like this. Gothmog is the Lord of the Balrogs, and he's the High Captain of Angband. He is like a menace. He is like the leader of the armies besides Sauron that is the real heavy hitter that does all the damage, and nobody can beat him. And Ecthelion is so skilled with his sword that he slays more orcs than have ever been slain. He slays 3 Balrogs before he fights Gothmog, and he kills Gothmog in a duel, and it's crazy. He dies in a duel as well, but his skill with the sword is second to none. I think that would translate really well with wielding a lightsaber and using maybe Anakin's form. Anakin uses form
Gemso.
I think that they would have a good battle. Actually, him and Anakin would have a good battle because he is crazy. He is crazy.
That is cool. I would almost like to see him as a character who's like not a Jedi, but still can go toe to toe with him because he's just so damn good. Yeah.
We got Comics Legion and TikTok saying Glorfindel over Ecthelion.
See, this is a common misconception here, sir. So in Gondolin, the king of Gondolin is named Turgon. Turgon has 12 houses that they all have captains that are the captains of Gondolin. The main captain of Gondolin is Ecthelion, and then the next captain is Glorfindel. Ecthelion is the captain of the fountain, and Glorfindel is the captain of the Golden Flower. The reason why people say Glorfindel is because they look at Glorfindel's feet and it saves Gondolin. So Gondolin gets attacked and it gets destroyed, and the remnants of the people of Gondolin have to flee. They're fleeing, and then they get attacked by orcs on this pass in the mountains, and there's a Balrog with them. This is the last surviving remnants of Gondolin. If these people don't survive, the world the world comes to an end. Morgoth wins because Eärendil is amongst them, and Eärendil is the savior of the world. So he's 7 at this time. So Glorfindel strives forward. He's the warrior there. Ecthelion has already died. He fights the Balrog there on a pinnacle of stone, and it's a crazy battle. And Glorfindel slays the Balrog. The Balrog falls off the precipice of the mountain into the abyss. But when he's falling, he grabs Glorfindel by his hair and drags him into the abyss. Now, the reason why Comics Legion is putting Glorfindel above Ecthelion because Ecthelion's feat is far greater than Glorfindel's. Glorfindel's feat just saves the world. But Gothmog is way stronger than this random Balrog that Glorfindel fights. But Glorfindel,
Importance versus difficulty. Yeah.
but then this happens. So this is what he's thinking about. Glorfindel gets brought back to life by the Valar because of the deed, because of the importance of the deed. And when he gets brought back, he gets a stat boost. He gets a power boost, and he now is like near Maya levels. Maya being Sauron and the Balrogs.
Yeah.
He's their type strength, and he's like better than before. And so everybody always is like, well, Glorfindel, and I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but he's not.
Can an
nicer
argument
than
be
Kelly.
made for a stat boost, Glorfindel?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. He's gonna win. He's gonna win, but it's kind of it's kind of an unfair matchup.
Yeah.
What about full power? No, I'm kidding.
Full potential.
with prep time.
Batman.
And Itachi's eyes, but he's healthy.
Oh my god. Itachi's eyes when he's healthy is something crazy, bro. Itachi's eyes, but I still got Jiraiya beating Itachi. I think it's about utility as opposed to just straight power. And this is a whole nother conversation.
It's a whole other conversation. That would be an amazing match, though. That I would like to see, because Jiraiya can come in there with no knowledge, defeat, several paths of pain, and just and write a secret coded message and do all this stuff simultaneously. First try, he's
underrated,
he's
bro.
Nice. He's nice.
Super underrated.
Yeah,
I feel like it's relevant though. I feel so. I did see another TikTok where they were saying Infinite Chakra Kakashi versus One Piece. And I hate the very nature of inventing things for the sake of a versus. Because even if he had infinite chakra, his body doesn't have infinite stamina. So he could do 1,000 Chidoris and literally break apart his body.
But then the other, that's a whole. The other thing is people really, really underrate Kakashi's level of chakra. He was weaker in the previous show, but once we get to Shippuden, it's not he's not weak at all.
I don't know.
And when he
what
doesn't
they're
have
talking
a
about.
drain, when he doesn't have a Sharingan constantly draining it, he's a monster.
He's actually stronger as the 7th without the eye because it's not draining him. So they're like, yo, he's much stronger actually. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So people just disregard that stuff and they like to just make these matchups which are really cool, but sometimes they're kind of like you said, Element, they're it's a little crazy just giving them an instant infinite chakra. That's kind of crazy. Now, I think he would win though, because he could just keep cooing me. What is that called? Cooing me? He would just keep doing that, spam that shit.
Now, the thing I would like when it comes to adding random stuff is if you could only add negatives. You're like, all right, we have full power Anakin, but he has lupus, and we have,
what does that have to do with the battle? People trying not to touch him.
He's having a flare up, so he's like, I'm powerful, but I gotta sit down, man. I don't know. I want to toss in negatives.
I want to bring it. I want to circle back to Legolas versus Hawkeye and Green Arrow, because you said that in the book version or the comic versions they would win.
Yeah. So I'm open to people's giving feats and information that I don't have and letting me know why you think that. You know what I'm saying? And if the research and if it makes sense, then I'm gonna go. Being a Lord of the Rings expert, I know the upper limits of what Legolas can do. And as far as the first regular TV iterations, absolutely, there's no way they're beating Legolas. I'm not conceding to that. But comics related, who I trust his opinion. He's a TikToker on here who actually delves into comics and he knows what he's talking about. We had a back and forth, and he actually put me on to the feats of Green Arrow and Hawkeye, and the feats that they done to things that can counter what Legolas's abilities could do in the comics if it was their comics versions. And I said I conceded to that. I said that makes sense. I can see that working. Them being able to sense certain things that I'm like, yeah, Legolas ain't that quiet, and them being able to sense invisible people and this and that. I said, you know what, that makes sense. But their movie counterparts absolutely can't win. Movie and TV show, they can't win. Legolas is
So here's the wrench I'm throwing in there. Even in the comics version, I think Legolas stomps.
The force is strong with this one.
Rams Ho, we joined the Dyad squadron.
Because the way, well, thank you, Rams Ho, for joining the Dyad squadron. Appreciate your support. The way I look at verses is more than feats, right? Because feats are performed during certain scenarios and circumstances where the feat can be performed. It's not as though the feat is universal, where they can perform the same feat across the board no matter what, right? The situation has to be just right. The scenario has to be just right for them to perform a feat. And so, like, when we run into these kinds of things where they have certain feats to counter certain things, is it relevant to Legolas, who can shoot them from 2 football field lengths away?
Yeah, that was what I was taking into consideration. So when he presented this information, I was like, okay, is it relevant to the abilities that Legolas is going to be using, his sight, being able to shoot from far away, this, that, and the third. So I think it's Hawkeye, for instance, was able to hear a sniper shot from a mile away and was able to, counter it, so things like that. I'm like, okay, he can hear an arrow or whatever the case may have you. Also, somebody invisible was trying to sneak up. Legolas is not even invisible, but is quiet, and this and the third. He's able to sense certain things, changes in the air, and all this stuff that I wasn't aware of, and showed me the scans to show me. I said, okay, I can see that. But I absolutely get what you're saying. I'm just trying to be fair across the board, because I know people have this thing. Like, I like Lord of the Rings, so they automatically think I'm always going to have a Lord of the Rings character winning. I don't care who wins. Honestly, don't. But as long as there's some kind of evidence or proof, I don't care who wins. If they're going to win, they're going to win. Like, somebody asked me, The Witcher versus Aragorn. The Witcher will stomp Aragorn into he will obliterate Aragorn because all the powers that he has. Now, if he take Aragorn and put him in Game of Thrones, Aragorn is clearing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we talking about here? What's happening?
Yeah.
What all the things,
So I tend to agree with Element here when it comes to these verses. Like, if I'm putting them comics wise, like iteration together, I'm still going Legolas on top, followed by Hawkeye, followed by Green Arrow. Hawkeye has some stupid feats in the comics, like just nonsensical dumb stuff. But once again, I think the overall kit for 90% of the time goes to Legolas. And if you have like one feat, it's like if you could have a random ass player in the NBA at the buzzer toss a half court shot, makes it. It was luck. He threw it in there, right? That's a feat now. So he can shoot from that range now, right? He just makes that shot all the time, right? No.
Very good point, man.
No, that's not how it works, Like, he's not winning a 3-point competition just because he made that shot once. That's how I look at it.
In the same vein,
I'm still saying Legolas doesn't miss shots. Like, that's like one of his things, is he just doesn't ever miss.
This is going to sound crazy because I'm the Lord of the Rings guy, but Hawkeye does not miss. Canonically, he doesn't miss. Pretty much the same with Green Arrow. So it's like, we're splitting hairs here. So Legolas, for instance, can do a 150-pound drawstring. Hawkeye is a 250-pound drawstring for his bow. So it's like, what do we like? I'm being fair.
No, you're right.
So
that's one of the reasons why Hawkeye.
I have to insert some archery here, because I am in archery. Hawkeye's is a 250-pound draw on a compound.
Oh, okay. See, now this is stuff I need to know, because I'm giving out information that. Does it matter?
So a compound.
Oh yeah,
bow,
as soon as he hits here, it's easy.
On a compound bow, the relative draw weight is exponentially decreased by the amount of pulleys on the compound bow. So you can have 250-pound draw weight and it feel like a 70-pounder, essentially. That's why hunters with over 100-pound draw weights with compound bows can sit there like this. And then they click the button.
And Legolas definitely doesn't have no compound because he got a regular.
He's using a longbow. It's not even a recurve, dude.
Yeah.
That's 150 pounds straight.
This is what I need to know, man. This is what I need to know. Thank you very much. See, now my information is updated, so now I can recalibrate my decisions a little bit. All right, thank you, man. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because I would like for my Lord of the Rings characters to wipe everybody, but I'm just trying to keep it fair and try to be as honest and modest as possible. You know what I'm saying? If I thought something, if I'm like, oh, he showed me proof of something, you know what I'm saying? But now you come in with the extra proof. So now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go clip his video and I'm like, you ain't tell me it was a compound bow. That shit easy.
So
why are Balrogs always falling off of things and then pulling people in at the last minute?
Yo, that is a very good question. Like, that happened a few times. Like, they don't like losing, so they like, yo, you coming with me. If I'm going, you're definitely coming with me. Like, I'm not supposed to lose to you. Interesting thing that most people don't know. Every dragon in Lord of the Rings was killed by a man, except for which even Eärendil technically count as a man. So all the dragons defeated by men, all the Balrogs defeated by elves, or one has been beat by a man, a Tuor, and Gandalf. But Gandalf is extra. He is Maya himself. So, but yeah, it's an interesting thing. The dragons are all defeated by literally men.
Yeah. I mean, so I always default to Choco for the comics knowledge because I only religiously followed the X-Men, and even then I stopped following the X-Men after a certain point. And when it comes to Legolas, I feel like his base starts at a much higher level, like according to the Legendarium, when he is resistant to hurt, where he wears light shoes on rock. Like he is far beyond the peaks of human.
Oh, he's
just
far beyond. Yeah. So there's a quote in it's actually in the Calibeth, and it's talking about the Númenóreans. Now we all know Aragorn is a Númenórean. He's far above regular humans. You see his age, you see his skill, you see his strength, even his knowledge, all that stuff is he has stat boosts across the board. It says that the elves are the Númenóreans are that much ahead of man as the elves are ahead of the regular everybody else. Like, so it's like it's showing you like, yo, the elves are way like the Númenóreans come close to match the elves, but that's like they're so far ahead of men. That's how much that the high elves are ahead of the regular elves, and the regular elves are ahead of the regular like men and stuff like that. The Númenóreans come close to match the elves. Like, so there's big gaps there. Like, so like somebody like Galadriel, who is an older elf, is far above Celeborn, who is a Sindar elf. He's a regular elf. Galadriel is here. He's here. Númenóreans are like here with the Sindar, and literally the regular men are like right here. So it's like leaps and bounds. And so Legolas is still above. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's why I kind of treat versus battles a little differently with feats. Also, like when we deal with like power scaling, and you say something of the matter that like Batman has once bench pressed a building that was 1,500 pounds.
Don't get me started on power scaling, my guy.
And I'll defer to Choco here too, but I'm pretty sure that does not amount to strength. That's why you have different figures for your bench, for your deadlift, for your squat, because you can like lift like 1,500 pounds does not mean that is your strength across the board.
You will never see a power lifter in MMA. You won't see it. They don't have the range, you have the mobility. They're strong. Doesn't mean you can punch someone hard. You can lift up heavy stuff. Like it's different. And that's the thing I just can't stand. When they're like, oh, well, Batman knows 140 martial arts, and you're like, so?
I shoots lasers out of his eyes.
Okay,
what are you talking about?
That doesn't make you 146 times better. That means you have more tools you can pull out. doesn't mean like any. I don't
This
know, it's just
guy,
crazy.
this guy the other day, and I was looking for you guys, but I couldn't find you at the time. He was arguing with me in the comments. Somebody sent me a thing, and it was Sauron versus Darth Vader, and I didn't even care who won. I honestly didn't care, but he was like just putting stats and like doing scaling, and he said Darth Vader has a 28 million times the speed of light feet, where he's faster than the speed. He did something faster than the speed of light, 28 million times faster than the speed of light, and he was like going so hard about this, and I had to block him.
That's the correct thing to do.
Yo, it sounded so crazy. This scaling shit. I was like, yo, I'm not arguing with you, bro. Like, cut it out. Like, Sauron's is literally a god. I'm not saying Vader's not dope, but like the things you're comparing, I'm like, at least those things can't be compared. I'm not saying Vader can't chop his arm. I'm not saying that. But you're saying certain things. It's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Listen,
Vader got washed by Obi-Wan several times.
This is what I said. I said
he never surpassed Palpatine. He did tame Sumo Verma. That was really powerful. That was really dope. But like at the end of the day, most of the Jedi were killed by clones. He did a little bit of cleanup, but like he was lucky that Yoda didn't come to face him because he would have been dead. And yeah. I have some hot Vader takes because I don't think he was ever the most powerful at any point. I mean, I think at one point he was more powerful than any Jedi because they were all dead.
Listen,
by default.
I mean, just in general, Vader has never been stronger at any point than Yoda or Sidious, and those guys are the bar for pure power. So if you can't defeat either of them, then you don't scale any higher just because of some feat. You know, that's why I keep on saying the feat is just literally
5 times universal. That's it.
No.
He's 5 universes he could destroy. I said, but he was dead serious. If he wasn't serious, I wouldn't even entertain it. But he was dead serious arguing with me. I wish I didn't delete him, block him, so you could see these conversations because I was like,
how?
The mental gymnastics is crazy.
You don't get to be if you're using a weapon. You know, like
I said, what universe has he destroyed?
He hasn't.
He hasn't. He can't. He doesn't have the ability. But he did. He split open time space or something. Shit, he did in a. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know how that is translating to.
This sounds like a Legends Luke argument where he pulled a black hole and moved it, and then it results in people saying he can destroy black holes, or where
he did achieve oneness where he literally turned into supersonic. That was weird.
Where you have people citing that Darth Nihilus could drain planets of its force energy, and so that means he could eat planets. It's weird how the misinformation has.
Appreciate you, Kal-El.
Took it on a life of his own.
Yeah. I like the quote: "Misinformation can make its way or travel around the world while the truth is strapping on its boots."
That's crazy. So,
yeah,
I mean, I remember Vader tried to force like in Vader 2017. No, not 2017. 2020, the original one. With the scientists. The scientists had like a modified Rancor, and Vader tried to force choke it, but he had like had strengthened its throat, so he couldn't be force choked. And Vader's like, "Oh well." Like, yeah, there's more powerful people. He's not facing Sauron. He's not facing a lot of people in his own universe.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I feel better already.
I mean, I said it in my previous video. Vader is as strong as the person he is facing is weak, because all of his major feats come when he's facing someone that is weaker than him, like very much weak. You know, when he faces Ren is the stunted force user. You know, when he faces Sidious, no shot. when he faced.
Okay, what Sidious does to him is disgraceful. Like, so new better. Vader like tames the sumo verminoth like it was big monster. If you watch Solo, it's the monster that was like living in the maw, and he rides in on one of them, and he's like, all right, Palpatine, come out. We're handling this right now. And then Palpatine used the Force to grab its tentacles, wrap it around it, and pop it. And then when Vader was on the ground, Palpatine laughed and was like, now what? He's like, what did he say? He's like, he goes, you were saying? And then laughs.
It was the equivalent of you thought, basically.
Yo, this is what I'm here for, man. To get this information and stuff like that, man. It would be exponentially a really, really cool crossover between Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. I mean, the fandoms are so akin to each other and get along so well. It's like you guys are like our brothers, man, and so I literally follow you guys' content, man. I used to sit there when your videos used to come on, I used to be like a little kid. I used to be like, yo, he let me know about some shit in Star Wars I ain't never even thought about before. So I really appreciate y'all, and I appreciate y'all inviting me on this podcast. Now, to be fair, I'm gonna have to break out soon in a few minutes because I gotta go to this memorial
for
thing.
sure.
But I hope that's okay. I apologize. I hope I ain't messing up y'all's show. But I wanted to make sure I pop in and show y'all some love because I appreciate the invite, man. So.
No, absolutely. Dude, handle your business. I did want to say, equally, we watched you. Well, I'm speaking for Choco now, but I'm pretty sure,
It's true.
I watched you the same
Whenever
way
I can.
we watched, Don Marshall. It's like, you've taught me so much about Lord of the Rings, in which I thought I was a super fan, and
Still is, man.
and just like just a little bit behind the scenes on Lord of the Rings Online, I did show you as an NPC as New Beta. It didn't get approved by the lore master on the team.
That's all right, man.
That's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying I need you to come up with a Tolkien legendarium name that would pass.
Oh, okay.
The lore master, so that I can immortalize you in that way. But I knew, like, when I just named it Nubeta, like just Nubeta, I was like, that's probably not gonna pass.
I definitely can consult my friend Lee because they're so much better with the linguistics. They can literally just a very Tolkien actual name, put it together, and it'll mean New Better. I can even, what I'm saying, get Wizard Way Chris actually speaks Sindarin and Quenya and all that, so we can definitely work that out.
No, absolutely.
Knows how to write in the kip, and
I don't even think it's gonna be that difficult because the same thing with Selma Emily when I asked her if I could put an elf in the game for her, and I was like, I don't think Selma Emily's gonna pass. So she said, "Oh, just use Corwin." Like she had a name like in her pocket. And I was like, bet. So I put it in. It passed with flying colors. Like you can't argue with a lore master that knows that name means something. It is very Lord of the Rings. It's gonna pass. So,
yeah, absolutely, guys, man.
Okay, well, before you take off, can I give you a final question?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're about to go hit the bars, and you got to bring one person from each universe. Who you drinking with?
I don't drink. I've never drunk in my life, but to be a companion drinking soda with me.
You're gonna party. You're gonna use something like that. Who you bringing?
Cad Bane. I'm bringing Cad Bane as my bodyguard, and just he's so ill. I love Cad Bane, bro. I'm like, that's an ill guy right there, and I love the way he like the little robot thing, like he with the robot thing. That's my dude. I'm bringing Cad Bane from the Star Wars, and from Lord of the Rings, I'm bringing Beleg Strongbow. Beleg Strongbow is a Sindar elf. He's one of the March Wardens, one of the captains of the Sindar, and he's a steady, true friend. He is not leaving you. So if something happened, if we get in a fight, he's fighting with me. And that's the measure in my hood. That's the measure of a friend is who's staying with you and fighting when the shit goes down. And Beleg is definitely staying with you and fighting. So I'm bringing Beleg and I'm bringing Cad Bane. You know what I'm saying? So Beleg and Cad Bane, I'm bringing those two.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, Justin Lang on the TikTok side said, my favorite Lord of the Rings channel and Star Wars channel. This is great. Let's get a collab for Rings of Power Season 2 and also The Acolyte. Interesting.
Definitely, man.
I definitely want you in on at least an episode of covering The Acolyte, because that'll be the first time we've actually gotten a true canon dark side show.
I'm down. Whatever. Because you guys put me on to the I enjoyed Andor so much because of your perspective that you was like, hey, look at it from this perspective and see how you. And I watched it and I was like literally enthralled. And that's like my favorite show out of all of them. It's just a realism that from a person on the ground, on the boots, not a force user, not a just the regular people getting swept up in this whole thing. I love it the most out of all of it. And people say, oh, this is the least Star Wars. And I'm like, I think that's the most Star Wars because besides these these crazy things that's going on, there's a universe and a galaxy far, far away that has regular people in it. How are they dealing with this? And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, just kind of like, all right, this is off the record. I feel like the people who think something is not Star Wars is looking at it with a very infantile eyes. It's like a baby. Like there's like visual association. You see a lightsaber and you're like, that's Star Wars. And then like
same thing with the Rings of Power. People hate on it because they want it to be what they think Lord of the Rings is, and they can't see it past their own biases or their viewpoint. And it's like, man, grow up. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You can't change, everybody and you can't have everybody enjoy what they don't want to. Everything now is rage farming. That really sells. Rage farming sells, and everybody wants to be upset instead of trying to enjoy something. There's things that I don't like, but I try to look my best and deepest to enjoy it because I love the fandom, I love the lore, I love it. So give me all that you can. You know what I'm saying? As long as I don't look at it as like you're like purposefully like just throwing something away, like bull crap. I'm going to give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, New Beta, for hopping on and hanging out with us on Dyad in the Forest. We'll definitely have you back on in the show on future episodes. If you have anything last you want to say before you take off, feel free to do so. Any plugs?
Hey guys, if you can, man, make sure you just give me a follow on the Voices of Art podcast. Me and Callie Cosplay. Callie Cosplay runs the show. She is awesome. Make sure you give her a follow. Callie Cosplay on TikTok, and yeah, man, just follow me. Do better on TikTok and all the other socials. And definitely salute to Element and salute to Choco here for just being the wonderful Lord Masters you are and inviting me on the show, man. I appreciate it, man. I look forward to being back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for being on, dude.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.
Take care. That guy was nice. Shout out to New Beta for being a great guest and just having an amazing conversation with us. What were you about to say, Choco? Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, there was actually you're a couple questions back because I didn't hear your answers on a couple of things, but I would also like, and everyone in the chat as well. Last question I asked is if you're going out drinking, you're bringing one person from Lord of the Rings and one person from Star Wars. Who you bringing? Just real quick, I'm bringing Pippin from Lord of the Rings because I think he'd just be a good time. You know what I mean?
I feel like instead of I'll let you finish. Sounds like a Kanye West. I'll let you finish. But I feel like Pippin would be a better stogie partner than a drinking partner.
Hey, listen, if he could be doing. I'm just saying, neither of us will be sober, and we'll be having a good time. And the other person I'm bringing from Star Wars, and New Better made me think of this up, but it's Brasso from Andor.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you know that guy can throw back some beers, right? You know
He's
he
got
gives
your
you the
back.
best hug. He'll give you the best hug you've ever had drunk. And yeah, he's got your back in a fight. He's hitting people with Marva's brick in the face. I'm hearing with Brasso as well.
What was the name of that one dude? Vetch? The guy
Yeah.
just stands there? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so the question was, who are you bringing to what? To have a drink?
You're going out drinking, right? It's not to have a drink. It's you're going out drinking. Had a rough time. Not saying you got to get sloppy, but like it's more than one.
Okay. From Star Wars. Dang, from Star Wars, I'm bringing Bix. From Lord of the Rings, I'm bringing the most awkward thing possible. I'm bringing Elrond. I know elves can't get drunk, but like just the things that we would discuss while I'm drunk and he's just like witnessing it.
He's just forced to be here at a party. Part of this.
That's a joke answer. I'd probably bring I mean, there's no way you don't say Gimli in this. He's just a firecracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bix and Gimli. And if I had to choose between Jedi, it would be I would definitely, get drunk with Yoda. I want to see what that's all about. And if I had to like go deeper into the roster of Lord of the Rings, I would go drinking with Sam. I feel like we would have some deep conversations with Sam.
Not true. Sam is the guy that like after you leave the bar and it's like the butt crack of dawn and he's sticking with you until y'all can drive home and he's just offering support.
Yeah.
Your screen went black on YouTube, by the way. But
yeah, I was trying to, because like whenever I hit it on the TikTok side, they're like, you're using substances. Okay. Anyway, I didn't want to, get that to happen on TikTok. But anyway, going back to your original prompt in the beginning, yes, there is a certain side of me that is like Quinlan Voss, but it'll be a little bit more original. Someone from Star Wars that I would bring into or be on the Fellowship that I think would be massively useful, I think is let me think about that a little bit more. Someone from Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings that's on the council.
While you're thinking, I can point out that in the chat here, I am Kal-El says he'd go drinking with Boromir and old cranky Yoda, which I'm into. I'm assuming old cranky Yoda means we're jumping straight to Empire and Return of the Jedi, and I would especially appreciate if he was like the funny senile version of Luke meets.
Yeah. Happy holidays to you, Justin Lang. We'll see you soon on the what's the date? On the 6th. Because there's no Dyad on the 30th, as I will be in Seattle. Let's see here.
Kupko says Cobb Vanth and bringing Pippin drinking. Cobb Vanth. Yeah, I would like that.
Cobb Vanth sounds like a good drinking partner. You know what?
Cobb Vanth would get people like I don't know. I picture like women buying him drinks and stuff, and him sharing the wealth. So,
since we're in that arena, I'm gonna say Boba Fett as well. I feel like that's a good time.
Yeah.
But in terms of Fellowship, Jedi Council, I think that Galadriel would be an infinite resource to have on the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
Someone as powerful as her, someone as forethought and foresightedness as her, I think would be a great scale that's on the other side of Yoda, because I feel like a lot of times where Yoda fails is because nobody on the council is as smart as him that can really challenge him, you know what I mean? With Galadriel, you really have someone that is like pushing up against his kind of like his monopoly of wisdom. You know what I mean?
Also, how old is Galadriel? Galadriel be like,
Thousands.
man, you're only 900. All right, sit down, child. Like,
And then like that whole sequence of the movie, with the whole backlit like inverse look. And then on the Fellowship, I would bring Belle.
okay, I like that.
Is this my speakers or is this track? Do you hear a tx, tx, tx?
No, the music sounds solid to me.
Interesting. I think it's coming from you because I just muted you and it stopped. If you bring up the YouTube stream and listen to it, I think you might be able to hear it. I've had a photo op with the actors Ian McDiarmid, Giancarlo Esposito, and Hayden Christensen at the Star Wars Europe celebration. Nice. Or were you in London? Do you hear it?
No.
I can see my volume meter picking it up. Can anybody in chat tell me whether or not you guys are hearing the tx, 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 tx? Yes, I can hear that sound. Hearing it. Cubco says I'm hearing it. Let me try switching your mic source really quick. Oh, wait, why is all of this on for you? One second. You say something?
Something.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, looks like it's looks like it's gone. What did you change? What did you turn off?
I don't think it's gone. It says it's back. You don't hear it? Everybody hears it?
Now I hear it.
Can you do me a favor and like switch off of that mic and then switch back? Oh, wait, it left. What did you do? What did you do?
Hold on. I'm gonna see if it returns.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, Cal. Somehow tisk return. It's gone. I don't know what you did.
I turned off the power and then turned it back on.
Interesting.
The 48 volts.
Okay. Well, let's see. What do we have left? We did our Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars. We're gonna move on to open dialogue now because I wanted to talk to you guys in the chat about this new phenomenon. It's not really new, but it's a new phenomenon called Wolverine versus Batman. I have a very, very adamant person in one of my. Oh, thank you for the heart me, Charlie Main. I have a person in my comment section that is very adamant in Batman stomping Wolverine on a random encounter, and I wanted to get Choco's thoughts because Choco is the comics expert between us, and just in general, kind of explore all of the scenarios like of a random encounter. What are the possible things that can happen with Batman versus Wolverine?
I mean, there's not much that can happen. I like who's stronger? Wolverine. It's stronger. I know you can say it. Like in Wolverine, because of the way his body works, will just get stronger as he's fighting, which is also wild. Who has a more battle IQ? Like Wolverine, he has so much more experience in battle. He, you may look at him as like a wild berserker because he does go into berserk mode, but he's a trained fighter. He is actually trained to. He knows how to fight. He's, you're not sneaking up on him. His senses are out of control. Batman's a ninja. Yeah. Wolverine trained with ninjas. Like, I don't see any way. I don't see anything Batman could do to him with anything that would be on his person in a random encounter.
I mean, that kind of settles things a little bit, The discussion arises from the comments of Batman having this, that, or the other tools that he has used throughout time immemoria, or throughout his time, that he has used to counter the Justice League. Nth metals, kryptonite, all of these tools that he has, which is why Choco says these things. Thank you for the team bracelet and the rose. Oh, dang. Thanks for the 9 bracelets, Charlie. Where is he carrying all of this stuff on his person in a random encounter? And that is a negatory, because why would you be doing that? It's like you're so paranoid that you travel around with your an entire utility belt's worth of tools to counter every single scenario and every single person you could possibly fight at any given point. And there was another comment that they said Batmite, or there is this like,
oh, Batmite wins. Yeah, Batmite beats him.
No, but the comment was that he has this thing that travels around that can teleport items to him at will.
Okay. You can't count other people. I like that's super weird. First of all, no, and Batmite is. You know how Superman will go up against Mr. Mxyzptlk? Yeah. Who's like from another dimension, a weird imp who can just make stuff happen. That's what Batmite is. Batmite is just like the same thing, but for Batman, and he's just a big Batman fan and wants to be his sidekick. Batmite clears. Batmite will whoop Batman any day of the week. That's not even funny. It's not even a close fight. But Yeah, I don't even know why you would include Batmite in this. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with all of my problems with verses. You know, when it comes to people inventing iterations of a character that would be the most advantageous in a situation, whether it's Infinite Chakra Kakashi or it's, you know, healthy Itachi or Anakin with all of his limbs.
I still can't get over them saying Batmite could bring him stuff. That's like saying the author of the comic could give him things. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
listen. Dude, does Wolverine have Hank and the freaking on the ceiling throwing him devices? That's the thing. Like, versus has to be between the two people with everything that comes with them, their weaknesses included. You know, you cannot. I hate it when, like, you have to invent a scenario that is favorable.
And so for me, when these battles come, I always think of, like, because a lot of people can win on this person's best or worst day, right? So I think of if they fought, if we rolled the dice on this chance encounter 10 times, what would be the outcome? I'm still saying 10 out of 10 Wolverine clears. But, like, Batman doesn't have anything on his person on a regular basis that could deal with Wolverine, except maybe poison. Wolverine can be poisoned, sort of. It doesn't have the same effect on him, not for the same length of time, but I don't know that Batman keeps deadly poisons on him, like gases to knock people out, things to kill people. Not quite. And he wouldn't think to actively use poison in, like, this type of conflict. I don't think he has anything capable of dealing with him. Like, yeah, you could cut his head off with a batarang and he would get better. So everything Wolverine has can kill Batman, though. Everything.
The X factor that I point to when it comes to Batman versus Wolverine, just on a basic fundamental, this character versus this character, random encounter. Wolverine slashes Batman. Batman tries to block it, not knowing it's adamantium, not knowing that it will cut through his armor. Because how does Batman react to swords and stuff? He blocks it with his armor.
He tries to block it.
If that's the case, he's losing an arm. He's like, oh crap, that cut through everything. And so he's going to get killed instantly. And there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it because Wolverine is a killer. So, like,
he's not like one of these nice comic book heroes who doesn't kill. He's not like Ninja Turtles Leonardo, who throws his swords into the ceiling, jumps up and grabs them and kicks people, and doesn't ever stab people. You know, no, he's chopping them.
Like he has routinely, I don't know how many times, killed the X-Men. You know, he has defeated Shang-Chi, Black Panther, Iron Fist. He trains Captain America and Black Widow and the rest of the X-Men in martial arts. And I feel like a lot of people gimp Wolverine in his martial arts and fighting ability because he's just a berserker with claws. But he is literally like a top 3 fighter in Marvel.
Yeah. He's up there. He's little, but he's scrappy.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna clip this and respond to the comment, particularly because I didn't know a dang thing about Batmite and like this like nonsense that he was bringing from outside.
A
of
magical imp from another dimension? Yeah, no, that's no. We're not doing that.
Yeah,
that's like saying.
If you give him
Batmite,
then we're gonna give him Professor X. Okay.
If Wolverine had the ultimate nullifier, then he would win.
Anyways, what can we talk about before we wrap things up? I know we're approaching the hour 30 mark. Anything you wanted to talk about in terms of Star Wars or just pop culture? And while you think of that, unless you have something immediately to talk about.
I mean, immediately for the recording, I know you're going to be putting up a review on it, but do you want to give people a taste of how you felt on Rebel Moon? Because I know that's a hot topic right now. It just dropped. It's supposed to be... A lot of weird people were, like, weirdly hyping it up because they're like, this is going to be our new Star Wars. And it turns out it was Wish.com Star Wars, but...
I mean... Listen, so if this was truly the story and the treatment that Zack Snyder pitched to Star Wars, and it wasn't taken, I can tell why. Because, well, we immediately know it's very derivative of Seven Samurai. But it doesn't,
which they've already done in Star Wars multiple times.
Well, here's the thing: it's derivative of that story with no real desire to innovate in any way, shape, or form. It's literally, we're going to take the framework of Seven Samurai and expedite all of the story beats. Like, no one is resistant, except for like maybe like the last guy. I'm trying to be ambiguous. No one is resistant to joining the cause. They appear, and they're like, "Would you like to?" And he's like, "Sure." Well, how can we free him? Oh, I'm big on gambling, so let's do this. And then like he does the thing, which is admittedly a beautiful scene. And then the next person is fighting, and then after that fight ends, she's just on the ship, and then and then the next person they visit people keep joining the cause, and there's no real like character work happening. There's no real quest that's being undertaken, and I feel like there's no world building either. You know, we have a history of a monarch that has been betrayed, the mother world, and then we have planet names and a couple of creatures, but we're still living in longhouses and drinking ale. Like there's no like why not Veltwisk or Veltka? Or something that is like world building, you know, creative of the fact that these are analogs or real world transplants in another world. You know?
Yeah.
So there's nothing like that. It's all just a bunch of like real world stuff within another planet that exists in that world, and I'm just like, okay, we have all this stuff. And I feel like Korra is Gamora, and I don't like the way Snyder uses slow motion. I feel like slow motion is a way to highlight a dazzling set piece, but Snyder just uses slow motion to highlight a scene.
Something I said kind of in my review is it felt like he made images that look really cool. This guy's jumping on the back of a griffin, and it's epic because it's on this cliff or whatever. And then this one is like, oh, I could see this person. And like he had someone, you know, make a concept artist or whatever, make the scene, and he's like, I want people to see this scene. But I feel like those were written first, and he tried to write a narrative to connect to them. And then the slow motion is just so that we can see that frame. And so it happens all the time. It's weird.
I mean, overall, like it suffered from the fact that there was no world building. The dialogue was weak. Nobody spoke more than 2 lines at any given point that was substantive to the story that they were, that they were telling at that very point in time.
Korra's romance with that one dude, to me, came out of the... Like, I didn't see it coming until, like, she was saying something sad and he held her hand. And it's like, oh, that's weird. Did I miss, like, the clues before? Nope. Or did it feel... Okay, and then there's like, obviously you're in love with her, and it's like,
yeah, that's when it happened. When they said that, I was like, all right, that's gonna be a thing. Like, what's going on here?
Wait, so you didn't tell me this whole time Korra's been straight?
So
I call BS.
So
look at her. You can't tell me that's a straight woman.
I mean, listen, just to keep my options open, I think she's bi.
Okay. That's fair.
But one of the redeeming qualities of the movie is Sam and Jimmy Bot. And I felt like there was going to be a larger thing there. And I think there is going to be, since, the ending had Jimmy Bot, but that was like the only thing that was like, oh man, that had some potential to be something, because I'm a big fan of like robot human kind of dalliances or whatever you want to call it, just kind of like learning from each other. That's not the right word, but
I'm just thinking of Edie and what's his name in Mass Effect.
Yeah,
Edie and Seth Green.
Yeah. Joker and Edie.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, now that you mention it, I feel like the way Zack Snyder works is he has someone storyboard it, and they go from storyboard to principal, and then they write the dialogue over on top. Because most of it did feel
that
like
would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that's how Marvel writes a lot of comics, and I feel like maybe they thought to do that for a film.
Because it felt like that, right? We were going from like beat to beat, like nothing. We suddenly we were on Sharon talking to the king, and like, I have no idea who this person is.
Oh my goodness! That the whole end scene where they brought him back and plugged into his head, and you're like,
yeah. Anyways,
I'm lost.
Rebel Moon had some. This is where the charity comes in. It had some potential.
My question for you is, because I agree it had potential, and when I started it, like, I saw like a scathing negative review, and I had watched the first bit of it in one sitting and had to stop, and I was like, I don't get that, because it feels like it's going places, and then by the end I think it had a good start, and its start makes me interested in what his version is going to be, because that's what happened when he signed on to do this. They were going to make their Netflix version, and then he was going to have his own director's cut. That's whatever he wanted. So watching this makes me not really want to watch part 2, but I am interested to see his director's version. What do you think?
I feel like the potential stems from the exposition in the beginning, because that is the most amount of world building we get out of this entire movie, where we are in a fantastical world. Mind you, I don't care if like we are in like a future setting and they don't have much world building, but when it comes to like a fantasy setting, and you're going to start off with like the mother world and the tyranny of conquest and a monarchy and like strange planet names and a different realm, some of it has to be supported by a foundation world that you like. This is why in Star Wars bathrooms are called refreshers, and like blue milk
coffee is called
milk.
Calf.
Yeah. Like we don't want, like, we want a world that's built so that we can explore the mythos of it. And so like the beginning of it with the exposition, is that Anthony Hopkins?
I think so. His voice. That's who it was.
His so like the exposition was really interesting. The mother world, the monarchy, the betrayal, and like the story with the Jimmy bots was like intriguing to me. The way like they were shooting it and he couldn't fight back, and like the connection it made with Sam, that was all great. And then like it just went super basic after that. Basic with everything. Basic with dialogue. Basic with villain archetype. Like there was zero depth to Noble. He was just there to be very, very mean.
I loved at the end where Noble was just standing there looking menacingly. and nothing ever happened. Like he didn't shoot. He just picked up his cane. He wasn't shooting at them. He wasn't doing any. And then a ship was falling, and he was just standing on the other side casually. And you're like, should you be trying to go somewhere? Or I don't know.
Nah.
It was wild.
Okay, let's catch up with the chat and then start to wrap things up here for this episode of Dyad in the Force. Holidays Eve. Next week on the 30th, there will be no show. Congratulations to Nicholas Schmidt for winning the Morgan Elsbeth Black Series figure. And happy holidays to everyone that is celebrating for the next couple of days into the new year. And the next time you see us will be next year. Shout out to Cal4 in the chat. Batman's whole shtick is I lose but learn and fight again with prep and knowledge. It wouldn't be a next time though. Cubco says I just so happen to be carrying magnetic bombs that will attach to your adamantium skeleton. And then Charlie Main for all of the wonderful gifts. Heart Me, the team bracelet, the rose. Subtle as a Rhino says Dark Claw would win. I am assuming that's them saying Wolverine.
Dark Claw. I know Dark Claw. Come on. My brain's not firing. Go continue.
Jay Annie, Justin Lang, and everyone that tuned in. And of course, another thank you to New Better Do Better for hanging out with us the first half of the show and talking Lord of the Rings versus Smack with us. At the end of the day, Legolas stomps. That's the final word.
Agreed.
Steampunk Sloth said, "Oh wait, we're talking versus matches. We were talking about versus matches. We'll give you about 5 minutes more if you want to talk about a 5 minute. If you want to talk about a versus match that's been on your mind. But we talked about Legolas versus the Archers from the comics, Batman and Wolverine again, Sauron versus Vader." Just a whole bunch of different scenarios. Element, would you be going to the next Star Wars celebration in Japan? I am going to Japan, yes. We have a whole trip planned for that. Choco, hopefully you are with us on that because we are trekking all across Japan. I mean,
I
you
saw
saw
the mapping.
You said
yes.
Simply because is it going to be your first time
in Japan? Yes.
Right. And it's going to be a lot of people in our groups' first time, and so I've mapped out a huge trip after celebration because I really don't want to come back and then have to go to celebration. I kind of want to just do the thing and then be like, okay, let's explore. Essentially all of the things that you would want to see on your first time. But definitely I'm excited to go back to Japan. I'm going to Japan as well, planning on taking my boyfriend along too. Right on.
Nice.
Damn well, in that case, the whole Batman prep time shtick is overused. We agree. Honestly, that thing just can't be used. Right? This is what I say all the time when people are like, but Batman with prep time. Okay, Batman with prep time equals his opponent has prep time. You can't give just him prep time.
Yeah, that's what I love about the battles with like him and Black Panther, because T'Challa is better with prep time than Batman is. Like it's insane, but whatever.
Well, I mean, just in general, I hate it when like the parameters is that of giving an advantage to one of them. You know, just like we were talking about with Batmite, like, okay, if he has Batmite, then hopefully he has Xavier. He has somebody on his side.
A literal god by his side.
If he has Batmite,
sure.
Logan has Phoenix.
Logan would have to have Mr. Impossible, because that's like the equivalent, you know. But yeah.
Who do you think is better at prep, Iron Man or Batman?
Depend. Like they both prep differently. Honestly, I would say Iron Man prepares more preemptively than Batman, but that doesn't mean that Batman does not prepare preemptively. Just most time we see the prep time, it's for a specific reason, and then with Iron Man, it's mostly future proofing. Like he considers himself a futurist, so they're very different. I think I might give it to Iron Man though, especially with his deployment system, with being able to access his stuff anywhere. You know,
that's true. Does Batman have an equivalent?
No, I mean, no, not really. I think what was it, Brother Eye, or he created like an AI that's satellite based that was supposed to help, and then of course that got sentient and tried to murder everyone.
Oh, like Ultron.
Yes, but Tony Stark didn't make Ultron in the comics.
Oh. Was that who made Ultron? Was that?
It was Hank Pym created Ultron, and one of the cool things is because he modeled his brain. He modeled Ultron's brain after his own, but Hank Pym is like mentally like unwell, and so that got translated into it. So like the robot's like partially schizophrenic, and then like has all these issues and stuff. It was pretty cool. And then they merged and flew into space. I don't know. Comics are weird.
All right, well, that'll have to do it for this week's episode of Dyad in the Force 152. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us. Thank you to New Better Do Better. We'll have him on the show in the future for possibly Rings of Power or Acolytes. We'll see. Yeah, that we're out of things to talk about. So,
Yep.
Bye. That's it. On to the next one.
For light and for life.
We are all the Dyad.
And may the force be with you.
Where's your smart ass quip?
Always. In my pocket.